Hi, welcome back to The Love of Dogs. I'm Arthur E. Benjamin, and this is Farrah White, my co-host, and we have another incredible show for you today.
Yes, and you know what's funny is the similarities. So much like American Dog Rescue, which is no dog without a home, we actually have a special guest here today, Sherwin Daryani, who is actually with Operation Kindness, which is the largest and oldest no-kill animal shelter in North Texas. So it's wonderful to have you with us today. And you're going to tell us more about the vision, which is a world where all cats and dogs have loving homes forever.
Yes, thank you for having us on.
Oh, no, absolutely. We're happy to have you. So tell us more about your message and how long the Operation Kindness has actually been in North Texas.
We've been in North Texas for over 35 years. And we started in a small little shared space in Garland, and over time we've grown. We went to a strip center where we had just a storefront, and then about 12, 13 years ago, we built our shelter. It's a beautiful shelter. It's on 4 wooded acres. We have anywhere from 250 to 300 dogs and cats in the shelter at any one time. And it's a really wonderful, hopeful place. Every animal that comes in through our doors will find their forever home. So it's a great place to be for our animals. Our cats are, for the most part, free roaming. They have a wonderful cat porch. It's a screened-in cat porch, and even if it's 110 degrees out, you'll find them hanging out there. They would much rather be out there than inside. And then our dogs, we have several play yards outside, and then also a trail that goes through our wooded area where our wonderful volunteers come and walk them and have them play and everything like that.
So that's the difference. The dogs are on the inside when it's hot outside.
Right. Yeah, the dogs definitely don't enjoy the heat as much as the cats do. So.
Wow, cat on a hot tin roof.
Speaking of cats on a hot tin roof, we have a little dog here on a nice warm lap.
Yes. Tell us who you have with you.
This is Sienna. She's a 4-year-old Cocker Spaniel mix. She was found in East Texas, just kind of wandering. She was horribly matted. She, just was a real mess, poor thing, and was undernourished, skinny.
Boy, you'd never know it now.
Yeah,
if there's an adoptable dog,
yeah, she's.
I don't know where that. Sienna is going to find a home right here today.
Well, we hope so. That'd be wonderful. She doesn't have an enemy in the world. Everybody's her friend, and she's got a lot of energy. Definitely wants somebody who can take her for walks and give her plenty of attention. She thirsts attention, and we groomed her and cleaned her up and fed her and got her vaccinated, got her spayed, and she's good to go.
Are all your dogs chipped?
Yeah, we microchip, spay and neuter, vaccinate, and we have one thing that sets us apart is we have a very extensive medical component. We have a large surgery suite. Virtually any kind of surgery you can imagine we can do in the shelter. Because we take our no-kill very seriously. If an animal comes in with a broken leg, with heartworm, with whatever issues they may have, we'll fix them up, get them healthy, and get them ready for a home. And really means a lot to us to be able to do that. The majority of our animals who come into the shelter are ready for a home immediately. They don't have any issues or anything, but the few that come in with some significant issues, we'll fix them up and find a home for them.
And now where are you?
We're in Carrollton,
Okay.
really on the border of Addison and Carrollton, just north of Beltline. And you wouldn't know it because when you come in, it's an office district, those kind of things. You wouldn't know that we're on 4 wooded acres, but we're there, so it's a really neat place to be.
Well, and so you said you started in Garland in a strip mall. So how do you get the funding to have that type of facility, and how do you keep that up?
The generosity of the people in Dallas-Fort Worth. We get no government funds. The majority of our funds come from individual donors who really believe in what we do, who love our animals. People know about us because of our no-kill mission, and so many people have adopted animals from us and have come and visited our shelter and fallen in love with what we do, and so we're 100% dependent on their generosity so we can save lives.
So no tax dollars, all donations. And how much does it cost you to save on average a dog or a cat?
Well, it's very dependent on the animals. We anywhere from If it's an animal that comes in perfectly healthy and it can go out the door, it's $300–400, you know, to do the spay and neuter and the vaccinations and all those kind of things. But then if it's an animal with significant health issues, it may take a longer. And then some animals will stay with us for only a week or two, and then some animals will stay with us for 6 months or 7 months. So it just depends on the animal as far as, you know, we have some cats who have stayed with us for close to a year. But since they have free roaming and they have a good situation, and we don't feel too bad for them, but we do want them to find a home, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I hear that you have an animal called Bear. So there's Bear. What is Bear? Who's Bear? And then what is the Bear's Den?
Well, Bear's Den is an expansion that we recently did due to a wonderful donor. She was many years ago a volunteer with us. We have 800 active volunteers at any one time that gives us, they give us like 30,000 hours of their time every year. She was one of those volunteers, and she came in, volunteered, and then at one point a dog came in. It was a Great Pyrenees, was half the weight it was supposed to be. It was horribly malnourished, had mange, all those kinds of issues. And we needed a foster because he wasn't going to be ready for adoption. He needed some tender, loving care for quite a while. Well, she agreed to foster him, and then her and husband, he changed their lives. They fell in love, and he's an intricate part of their family. And he's huge now. He's a 130-pound, beautiful dog. Well, they came to us and said, you know what, he really changed our lives. We want to do something for big dogs, because that's our passion, big dogs. What can we do? And we said, well, actually in our 4-year strategic plan, we've been talking about doing an expansion for big dogs. So we'd love to do that, kind of explained it to them. And they said, how much would that be? And we said, about $250,000. And so they said, okay, we'll do it. And you know, I fell on the floor, and you know, and then once I got back up, they said they were serious, and then I gave them a big hug, and we did it. And so it doubled our capacity for large dogs and increased our capacity for small dogs by about 60 to 70%. And it means a lot to us because our big dogs do take longer to adopt, so we can take in fewer. So being able to double our capacity means we can save more.
Well, do these people want to remain anonymous, or can we?
No, it's Norma Carney is the lady's name, and she's the one who it was her baby to do this, and she's an incredible woman, and the animals in our community owe her a lot.
Well, thank you, Norma, from all of the animals out at Operation Kindness and from American Dog Rescue and Bandit. Thanks for doing that. It's people like you that make the difference.
No, it's really true.
Definitely.
Because how often are you at capacity?
Always. We get probably over 200 requests per day from the community to take in animals. The way our animals come to us, half of them come from city shelters where they've run out of time, and we have a great partnership with them. They'll call us, or we'll go in and work with them to save some of those animals. The other half are from owner surrenders, people who can't take care of their animals, especially right now because of the economy, and then also strays that are found in the community. And so just from that half of it, we get over 200 requests a day, not counting, you know, this other shelters calling us and asking us to come help. So it's pretty overwhelming. We take in as many as we can, but we have to turn away a lot. But what I like to tell people is, instead of buying an animal from a breeder or whatever it may be, come and adopt from us,
sure,
and you can save a life, because that's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we're all trying to get across to people is, you know, rescue, rescue, rescue.
Definitely.
There's no reason to.
Well, look at this. It's
I know.
Yeah, she's a
little Cocker Spaniel, just beautiful and calm. Although if we put Bandit down on the floor, they won't.
Yeah,
be.
they'll start playing.
Look at how beautiful that animal is, and Sienna's available for adoption. And again, I'm sure the people who are watching this show, somebody's going to call and adopt Sienna if she's not gone already.
Right.
By the time we're here.
And we have one more dog actually in the studio that's available for adoption. We have a sweet little pug named Barbie. So we're gonna.
Bandit's been trying to change his name to Ken.
Yes,
all
Bandit's been trying to change his name.
Oh, look
to
at
Ken.
him!
But, you know, now he's perked up.
Now he's perked up.
Now
he's perked up. He's ready. Barbie's
this is
here.
Barbie coming in, so you can get a look at her. She's also available
Bandit,
for
it's
adoption.
Barbie.
Look at how cutie pie
Look at
she
Bandit
is.
going crazy.
Now Barbie, she's 2 years old, and she was at a city shelter, and she had puppies. And so
Aw.
we got her and her puppies and adopted her puppies out. She's still available. She's the ultimate lap dog, whereas Sienna definitely needs someone to play with her and give her some exercise. Barbie, I think, would be content to sit in a lap all day.
Well, and
How
look
does
at
Barbie
her.
do with other dogs?
Great, great. She's her and Sienna were getting along well.
So Barbie would do well with an older couple, or Barbie would do well with a family. It
Yeah.
wouldn't matter. It's just somewhere that there's a
Look
lap.
at her.
All she needs is a lap and some love and some food, and she's good to go.
And
So
she's available also.
Yes,
so.
she is.
And we have some other dogs
We
that are
do.
available too.
Maybe we can throw up some pictures. We've got Baggett, and we've got, let's see, a couple of other, yeah, Bobby is another one. Which one is that?
That one is Baggett.
Is that Baggett?
Yes.
Oh,
That's Baggett.
Baggett.
Little beagle.
Look at that. Oh, how beautiful.
Yes.
And
a little
we-
puppy.
Wow. And we've got Kid.
Yes.
Yes, we've got Kid, and we've
Oh,
got,
look at Kid.
Kid
Look
is
at that.
great.
Look at that face.
Look at those ears. They're-
How
yeah.
fun.
Hi, Kid.
So all of these dogs are available for adoption through Operation Kindness. Look.
And where's Luke
Where
Skywalker?
is, you're right. And there's actually one named Luke Skywalker. So
That's a picture from one of our events. We have
Aw.
an event called Dog Day Afternoon, and those pictures are from that event. We do it at Flagpole Hill in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
And it's a fun event. It's a free event. People come out. They can enter into contests like stupid pet tricks, and we have a costume contest, and we have Dallas Disc Club who comes out and does
Disco.
disc stuff with the dogs, and Pet Supplies Plus is our presenting sponsor for that. They're a wonderful partner of ours, and they sponsor that event for us, and it's a lot of fun. There's tons of vendors who give away free things, and we're doing it in September. We usually do it in September every year.
So it's called Dog Day Afternoon,
Yes.
and it is at Flagpole
Flagpole
Hill.
Yes.
And it is in September. then.
Yes, yes.
Like end of September
End
every
of
year?
September, yes. Yeah, and it's a great event. We've done it for, I think, 16, 17 years. I forget the number of years we've done it, but we've done it for many years, and it's a fun event.
Now, when did you first get involved with Operation Kindness?
4 years ago. I've been in nonprofits for my whole career on the people side of things, but I've always had a passion for animals. But I never thought, there's...
I can't tell.
Yeah, as I'm covered with Barbie's hair. But,
Barbie, you're shedding.
So I was just so excited when there was a potential that I could come onto this job, and so pleased when the board of directors decided to hire me, and haven't looked back since. What other job can you have happy endings every day and happy stories, and if you have a stressful day on the job, you can go back and grab a dog or a cat and pet them or play with them.
Yeah.
So can't beat that.
No, that's got to be pretty
So
amazing.
you always have a dog on your lap.
Either a dog or cat. Actually, sometimes, in my office, we have some lobby cats. We're one of the few shelters that will adopt out cats with FIV, which is similar to HIV, but for cats. It's basically the cat will live a full life without medication, healthy, no issues typically. But a lot of shelters won't adopt them out.
So we should say here that HIV is not a disease that can be communicated to human beings.
Right.
And that
FIV.
it's FIV. Sorry, FIV.
Sure.
Unlike HIV, cannot
Right.
be communicated to human beings, and it can only be communicated to other cats
Yes.
if there's a deep scratch, blood wound. Otherwise, it's not communicated through other ways that cats pass diseases.
Right. Yeah. It's got to almost be a bloodbath or sexually transmitted. Those are the only two ways it happens. And we have two cats actually in the lobby right now. One of them is at FIV. One of them is not. They've been together their whole lives. They were at a home that couldn't take care of them anymore, and one of them doesn't have it. It never transferred. So it's very difficult to transfer the disease. But we are very selective in who we adopt them to. But the reason I'm telling you this is they're the ones who get the lobby, because we don't want them with the other cats. And sometimes it's difficult to work. I'll be typing and they'll come lay across my keyboard or anything, but it's worth it. It's a lot of fun.
The only reason I bring it up is people have such a fear of HIV that
Sure, yeah, that's a good
shouldn't
point.
have a fear of a cat. That
Yeah,
has
we always
HIV.
tell them that. That's a good,
Yeah.
very good point.
And it's
We
actually, it's feline leukemia right?
No, there's another.
It's a different.
Feline leukemia is a lot more serious. That's has a high mortality rate. That's not a disease definitely that can be managed.
So even though the cats would have that indefinitely, they don't necessarily ail.
The FIV, right? No,
Yeah.
they don't. Yeah, and we don't. There's really no need for medication either.
Yeah.
Typically, they'll
Good.
die of old age before they die of the disease.
Well, it's nice that you adopt both.
Yes, yes.
You know, it's nice
definitely.
to have both because certainly for no-kill shelters, I mean, you want it. You want across the board. We hate to
Yeah.
see any animal.
Sure, and we have great success adopting them into homes. They do really well, so we're happy to be able to do it.
Now, tell us, how do you go about getting your volunteers?
Well, we don't do a lot of recruitment. They come to us through word of mouth. Like I said, we have about 800 active volunteers. And what's wonderful about our volunteers is they do and function in many ways the same way our staff does. Whatever the volunteer is willing to give, we'll let them go ahead and do it. We have volunteers who just come in and play with the dogs or cats, and that's all they want to do. They don't want to do anything too intense. But we have some volunteers who are adoption counselors for us, who go through some intensive training to be adoption counselors. We have some volunteers who come in and will clean those cages and get, down and dirty and work with them. We even have one adoption counselor who, a few years ago, headed up our work to do rehab for some of our animals who had broken legs or whatever that may be fixed. And she works with them. We have a bathtub that they swim in, different kinds of rehab activities. And as far as we know, we're the only shelter in America who does that. We haven't yet been able to find anybody who does that kind of intensive rehab on a shelter basis that we do. She's gone to national trainings on how to do it, and we actually just received some funding to make our rehab area a little bigger so that we can do even more. And so it's a really neat thing for us to be able to do.
And it works. Bandit was born without use of his rear legs.
Oh, wow.
And through massage therapy and balance therapy, he gained the use of his rear legs again. Otherwise, he would have been in a cart for his whole life.
That's wonderful.
So it works.
It does. It definitely does. We had a little black dog. Her name was Yaki, and just was walking one day, and it was one of our staff's dog actually, and lost ability to walk in the rear leg. Something happened, something with her spine, and our rehab nurse worked with her for a while, and she's doing great. She's running around, doing wonderful. So it's definitely a very neat part of what we do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so how would someone that was interested in volunteering, whether it was their time or their money, like what would they need to do?
If you go to our website, which is operationkindness.org, you can download an application for our volunteers. There is a small fee, but what that covers is, they get a T-shirt and all those kind of things. And they'll go through about an hour-and-a-half training, which will introduce them to, all the different ins and outs of what to do in Operation Kindness. And that gives them basic level of training, and they can come in immediately after that and start working with our animals. And then we have additional trainings if they want to do more. If they want to be an adoption counselor, they can go through training. If they want to work with some of our special needs animals, they can go through training. And so we have different avenues of things that they can do, as little as or as much as they want. Some of our volunteers only do our off-site events, which we do a lot of off-site adoptions and those kind of things.
Oh.
And that's all they do. Because they know if they come into the building, they'll adopt every animal. So they want to stay out, so they do those off-site events. So it just depends.
Yeah, I mean, luckily you've got a facility that sounds like they have room to roam.
Definitely.
A lot of facilities I don't think are as fortunate.
Well,
Yeah.
let's get Barbie back up for one more shot.
Yes.
She looks so comfortable.
Show
but
Barbie, she's such a sweetie pie.
The purpose here is to find loving homes for all of your
Forever
animals.
homes, that's right.
And the way you can do that is,
Well, Operation Kindness is located at 3201 Earhart Drive in Carrollton. And you can log on to operationkindness.org to get more information and to take a look and see all of the different pictures of the dogs and cats that are available for adoption. Sherwin, I can't thank you enough for being here. I know Arthur
Thank
Pleasure
you.
to see you
thanks
again.
you
you
as
so
well.
much.
You're doing a
Thank
great
you.
thing. We'll be
Appreciate
right
it.
back.
Well, welcome back to the Love of Dogs, and it's no secret that I love to reunite Afghan feral dogs, the friends of our soldiers, with our soldiers here. And we have a special story we're going to show in a couple of minutes from CBS that's very touching. But I think that besides bringing back those 14 dogs from Afghanistan that American Airlines helped to, American Airlines cargo paid to bring back from Afghanistan, and we reunited, that yielded Sheila and Charlie, Sheila being a female Army specialist and Charlie being an Afghan dog. Charlie escaped after that, and American Dog Rescue found him 8 miles away in a barn, but he had 2 torn ACLs and the tendons in the legs, rear legs. And so he was driven from Iowa to Florida to a low-cost veterinary work with called Paws to Help. And he has had his first surgery, and it is healed. He's now had his second ACL surgery, and he's up and around putting weight on it. I saw him last week. He's doing great, and he goes back to Sheila in Iowa in 2 weeks. And then, of course, there's Tazzy, who we've shown on the show, who was an Afghan dog who came back from the wilds of Afghanistan to serve Jeff Mitchell, who I was on CNN with, who has a great need for a service dog, and Tazzy's become a great service dog.
Well, and yeah, you're right. It is no secret. You and American Dog Rescue have certainly done a lot in that area, which is why we're so glad to show you this video today that we've got coming from Jeff Glore. It's actually a National Guardsman named Chris Duke, and he's reunited with a furry friend that he met in Afghanistan. So we hope you enjoy the clip.
Thanks, CBS.
Oh, yes.
When Georgia National Guardsman Chris Duke was serving in Afghanistan, he made friends with the locals, stray dogs Sasha, Target, and Rufus.
You know, a lot of us used the 3 of them as kind of an escape, you know, whenever you're homesick.
But they did much more than keep him company.
My firm belief that I probably would not be here today if it weren't for him.
On a February night, a suicide bomber tried to get into Duke's barracks, but the dogs began barking and biting the intruder, and he blew himself up before he could kill 50 soldiers inside. Sasha was severely injured and had to be put down, but Rufus and Target were both nursed back to health. Duke returned home a month later. The dogs had to stay behind.
I was really worried the fact that the next unit may come in and not want them there.
As another soldier kept an eye on them, Duke wrote a letter to a veterans assistance group called Hope for the Warriors.
I owe my life to those dogs, and my wish is to bring them home and give them the best life I can.
Have you ever gotten a request like this before?
No, this was going to mean a lot to him, and so whatever we needed to do to get this wish done.
Other organizations heard about the story too, and a Facebook page went up, which in less than 3 months raised $21,000, enough for the dogs to leave Afghanistan. This week, Rufus and Target finally arrived in the U.S.
Hi, puppies.
Today in Atlanta, they were reunited for the first time with Duke and his wife.
Hey, buddy. I was pretty much in disbelief all the way up until the moment when I saw him.
Target will live in Arizona with another soldier. Rufus will stay with the Dukes.
Thinking I'm going to have him for the rest of his life, and it's, man, it's exciting.
Exciting because he knows he wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the dogs. And now they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Duke. Jeff Glore, CBS News.
Okay, they did it to me again. Dogs live to serve human beings, and given the chance, they will find their way. That's why we really have been examining the mission of American Dog Rescue, and it's really the intelligent integration of dogs into our society, where they can fully serve their potential to humans, either as pets or as service animals. I have seen the most amazing things, like dogs as part of their nature protecting our troops, like a dog who's been trained to help a very handicapped cerebral palsy kid whose parents had to stay with him because he had seizures all the time. And now when he has a seizure, the dog goes and gets a medical kit, dials 911, opens the front door and sits and waits for the medical team while the mom is able to take care of the kid and the dad's able to work. those kind of stories are what make dogs very special to me, and the reason why I founded American Dog Rescue. And stories like this, I can't thank CBS enough. CNN, NBC, they do a great job covering these stories. And from me and Bandit,
Yeah.
and from Farrah, thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They really do. It's one of those things to where no matter how many times you watch a video, sometimes it can still impact you in that same way and bring that emotional response that you get. And again, it's just that, you know, these creatures have nothing but unconditional love to give and are so dependent on us for so many different things.
So there is a rescue in Afghanistan, in Kabul, called Nowzad, N-O-W-Z-A-D, Dog Rescue, and it's up on the American Dog Rescue website. You can donate to them, and we'll see that not only your funds, but other people's funds and our funds continue to go to Nowzad to help the dogs that are left behind by our soldiers. And there are organizations like the one we saw here, and Paws for Vets, which you know I serve as the advisory board chair of. Yep. Paws for Vets is also on the American Dog Rescue website. So you can make yourself count with regard to lots of organizations through American Dog Rescue.
Oh, absolutely. Not to mention that American Dog Rescue gets so involved and makes so many donations to so many different wonderful organizations also. You know, which you did the time that we had Elaine Munch on our show. So anyway, thank you again for that. So we owe a lot to American Dog Rescue, and that's in big part to you guys. So if you want to find out more information on how to donate or how to get involved, AmericanDogRescue.org is our website. There you can see past shows, upcoming shows, and also find these organizations. What's the name of the Afghanistan one, Arthur?
Nowzad.
Nowzad.
And
okay.
Paws for Vets.
Absolutely. So you can find those organizations as well. Be sure, as always, to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And we'll see you next time.